Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a review on the Vaughn SLR4 Pro Carbon goalie pants. I do have these in red. A little bit of history of myself. I started at a very relatively older age with the Reebok 18K Pro pants. Worked my way into a CCM Premier and then a CCM Shield 2. And then I wanted to change it up a bit, get something a bit more protective, a little bit beefier, especially in the thigh rise area or in the thigh area, just because with my old CCM Shield I was getting beat up a little bit, so I wanted something that had a bit more protection. Now, obviously, these do have the double flaps on them, which I'll get into. So I settled on these. Now, these are senior large. And obviously they are in red. Just decided to change it up a bit. So these style of pants are actually a barrel style. So the old CCMs, they were kind of like a square, kind of a squared off style, which I liked. I found that whenever it would hit me anywhere kind of here, it was predictable. It would either die out or something like that. With these ones here, I know there's not too many puck marks on them, but I find for some reason the pucks don't actually leave many marks on them as I would have thought it would have. But anyway, I do have probably about 15 to 20 games on these between pickup and beer league and stuff like that, so I think I can give a fair review. So there's a couple things I don't like about these pants, which I will talk about right now. Going from a square style like the CCMs to this rounded barrel shape, it was a bit of a change. I did find that these fit a lot bigger. Like it was almost, it's hard to explain, but I felt too big almost. I'm all for being bigger than that and everything like that, but at the same time, I found that this was sacrificing some mobility. One reason is the actual pant itself. It's a large. These ones here, they run about almost 1.5 or 2 inches longer than the CCM large, and the CCM large was perfect. It was probably about 1 inch above my kneecap, so it was like pretty well perfect. It wasn't affecting my pad rotation or anything like that. With these ones here, it did affect my pad rotation, and on the outside, it's especially with this barrel shape, how it's so close to my leg, I found that it would affect my pad rotation a lot, and I could feel my pants kind of getting pushed up from the pad, and I really didn't like that. Another thing that I don't like about these pants is it's hard to tell, but there is a plastic piece in here, obviously on both sides. The plastic ends right here, and obviously this is where you have a kind of thinner piece of foam, and then you have your interior foam piece here. So from about here to here, there's really not much there. There's only like thin piece of foam. Like I can feel my finger right now in here, and I've taken probably 3 or 4 in that area, and it hurts bad. Like it does not feel good at all. It's like I'm really surprised I wasn't bruised. Thankfully, it wasn't a slap shot or anything crazy, because it would have hurt me pretty good. The further up you go, it almost feels like the plastic kind of tapers off in here a little bit, probably to create some more room for your cup and everything like that. But I find that like right here, there's nothing here at all, other than a small piece of foam, which is a problem for me. I don't really like that very much, so that's one of the things I don't like about these pants. Another thing I don't like about these pants, well, I do and I don't. I do like how you have the double hip coverage here. It's great. I'm all for protection and everything like that. This is just this. There seems to be 2 pieces of foam in here, kind of a harder piece on the top, and then just a real soft piece on the bottom, and then kind of the same thing here, which is good for protection. I've taken a couple up here, but the CCMs, they were actually sewn in, so I can fit my hand completely under here. And I was hugging the post in a RVH, and a puck actually, because of the way I was kind of leaning up against the post. I think it did it here too. No, just this side. These actually flipped up, and then the puck squeaked right in between here. Now, granted, there is more protection underneath here. That's one thing that the CCMs never really did, was have more protection underneath here, like a piece of plastic or another piece of foam that actually sits directly on your leg. If it wasn't for that piece of foam, I would have gotten, it would have been a pretty good bruise. It still hurt, but I find that when you're down and you're like on the RVH, these tend to flip up. I wish that they were kind of sewn on here somehow, like the CCMs, they're sewn on. So if they do flip up, like it can only go a certain amount. Like this goes right up to pretty well the top. So that's one thing that I wish Vaughn would have done. Another thing that I don't like about these is I cannot close my legs with these pants. I have a Bauer Pro Cup. Now with the internals of these pants, it's going to be very hard to show you, I understand. But there is extra interior foams and plastics. Like this is there's all plastic on the outside, and it goes all the way around. Pretty well covers your whole behind area. So the coverage along the side and everything is very good on these pants, which is very nice. But the plastic that they have in here for extra protection along the thighs and then on the other side, I find it comes over, especially up top here, a bit too much, and it affects my I can't close my legs. Which is kind of funny, but I find that my 5-hole is open, and since I've had these pants, if my stick positioning isn't perfect, I've been scored on 5-hole quite a few times compared to my old CCMs. So that's another issue that I have with it. Another issue is this black piece here actually came out of my old CCM pants. I cut it out and I put it in here because there was actually nothing. This wasn't here at all, which is the piece that kind of the laces go through. So I wear my chest protector untucked and I float it kind of over the side, and I do have suspenders, but it holds my my neck guard down. And I played one game without this, and I found that my stomach was wide open, and it was very uncomfortable for me. I don't know exactly why, but I felt so naked without it, that I had to cut my CCM apart, my old CCMs, which wasn't a big deal because they were pretty well worn out and cut all up anyway, so I wasn't going to sell them. But took this piece out just to put it here. I don't know if it's just a mind thing or what, but there's nothing in the middle here. I do wear these fairly loose, and it does have a nice internal belt, which was good. It does have another strap that actually goes through these 2 loops. Or 4 loops, sorry, on the outside. I took that out just because with the internal belt, I don't need to have it tighter around my waist. Some people might. I personally don't. Now, from here up, you do have a decent amount of protection. It is fairly thick, which is nice. I would like it to come a little bit higher, like my old CCMs do. CCMs probably come up to maybe about there, be about another extra inch or so. But I mean, it's all personal preference. You might like it, you might not. One thing is there's no little block here, and I know they're trying to make it NHL legal. Actually, I don't know if this specific style is NHL legal. I don't know. But the little block that used to be here on the CCMs to kind of make you a bit bigger, that's not here in these pads or these pants. Just keep that in mind. Might be a deal breaker, might not. Just kind of forewarning you, I guess. Another thing too is it's kind of hard to see from this angle, but they're very straight. They're very square. I don't really like that, only because with my knee pads and everything like that, I find that if I'm standing straight up, and if this doesn't make sense, I might apologize, but I'm wider at my knees than I am at my waist with my knee pads and stuff, and I find that it's not as comfortable as my CCMs that were kind of tapered out a little bit. Not saying that they were in a triangle shape, but definitely the bottom was a bit wider than the top, which was nice. So that's the fitment issues. Not an issue, but that's just a fitment thing that you should keep in mind. And one more thing I find with these is the senior large and the Vaughn and the senior large and the CCM are very different width-wise. I actually had trouble getting these on with all my equipment. The CCMs I didn't. So these I find run a bit smaller in like width, but length they run bigger. So keep that in mind if you are looking into these pants. They do run longer, but not as wide. And they don't sit up as high as well. So if you don't tuck and you kind of enjoy having this further up the stomach, just keep that in mind that you're not going to have as much protection kind of up top. The back end protection on these pants is pretty good. Like I said, you got a decent amount of protection. Pretty well goes all the way back behind your glutes. I did get a puck mark. I did get a shot or two actually right in the butt. Somebody was trying to bank it off me and it hit the nice hard plastic. Like, that's hard plastic all here. Luckily it hit there and there was no problem. The durability, or not the durability, but the build quality of these pants, Vaughn's always been really good for that. I do find that there's a couple of little where'd it go? There it is. Little frays here and there, and the other thing I noticed is, like I said, I have 20 games on these pants, and it's already starting to separate on the bottom. Yeah, you got to see the light there. It's already starting to separate on the bottom. I don't know if it was like that when I bought it. I genuinely do not know. It might have been, and I just didn't notice it. I don't know. One of the positives of these pants, they are very, very protective. They are tank. That's pretty much it, to be honest. The mobility is there. Not as mobile as my CCMs, I find. Protection is very good. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. That's pretty much all the good things I can say about it. I miss my CCMs. I really do. I'm actually going to be going to look at the CCM XF, which is the new generation of pants, just because I miss them so much. If you want to have as much protection as possible, maybe you're a taller goalie, a bit of a thinner goalie than I am, maybe, where, fitment's not an issue width-wise, but length, you need a bit longer of a pant, and you want more protection than maybe it would be for you. I want to love these pants. I really, really do. I want to like them, but coming from a CCM to these, some people might not have a problem. I didn't like it. It is what it is. I will be selling these soon. Once I get my other pants, probably next week or something like that. It is a shame, but it is what it is. So just to recap, great pant, very good protection, just not for me. The only protection issue that I have is from pretty well here to here. There's pretty well nothing. It's like probably a 1/4 inch thick of just not very thick foam. So I have got a couple pucks in there, and then I really thought I was going to bruise from it. Luckily they weren't too hard of shots. One was just a light little backhand, and it stung pretty good. For a pro level pant, shouldn't happen in my opinion. So like I said, I really wish I could like these. I would love these pants, but I just can't, sadly. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, throw them in there. Sorry, Vaughn. I really wish I could love them, but they're not for me. Other people might really, really like them, but they just don't work for me, sadly. Thanks, guys.